All right, y'all. I reckon it's time for a spontaneous dose from TZL. I was ready to be showing up like whenever I feel like knock, knock, knock. Hey, you guys want to do some TZL? Right on, right on. But thank you guys for being so gracious as to know that I don't exactly abide by a schedule when it comes. I guess I'm kind of narrowing it down to like Wednesdays and Fridays, but I know today is Thursday. Like I said, I'm trying to narrow it down. I'll get it straight at some point. But at any rate, y'all. Thank you guys for y'all who do show up. It's your boy Zoe with Bronze Serpent Media. That thing right there. And let's see, man. Let's talk about some stuff that came across my desk this past week. Let's see, stuff that I don't really care about. But I do care about the effects that it has on our country and the effects that it has us being able to enjoy our God-given freedoms. Like I said, I don't care about the lunacy, but you can't just ignore this stuff because these so-called progressives are as progressive as cancer, and you can't exactly ignore cancer any more than you can, ignore any other infection. That's what we got. People be talking about, we just need to ignore these people. It's not a good idea. You don't ignore infections. They tend to turn into something really bad. You don't have to get caught up with what they think and start adopting the way that they think, but you might want to pay attention to the effects that it has and come up with ways to be able to get away with getting away of it. And I don't mean just by putting all your faith in a politician, which a lot of people seem to do to solve these problems while saying that government is the problem and not the answer. That stuff still doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, y'all, so let's see. Let's go ahead and talk about, Texas. A federal judge in Texas blocks Biden administration mandate that forces doctors to perform trans surgery. Get that crap out of here. Okay, so, now the thing about this is once again, we got judges in the courts being made to waste their time protecting the so-called right to murder. So what does transgender have to do with murder? It's murder, right? Because these people, when a person is succumbing to transgenderism. All right, like I said, y'all, this is witchcraft. They're assuming to transform themselves by means that are not natural. Right? You can't transform yourself anyway. All right, but these people are assuming that they can. Right? And they're going to sacrifice their flesh. They're going to sacrifice their blood. In this instance, they want to sacrifice your money, right? They're going to be taking all these hormones and pills, basically potions, and they're going to do this to make some sort of transformation, assuming that they can change into something that they're not. Okay, so yes, y'all, it is in effect witchcraft. And since God definitely ain't got nothing to do with it, yeah, most certainly witchcraft, when you assume that you can transform yourself into something else, right? So, and also, y'all, it's basically suicide. All right. But since one side lives and one dies, so to speak, they basically assume that they're going to, ghost this person that they were born as and become something else, even though it's the same person, right? I guess that kind of makes it like a murder suicide. The person kills themselves off, yet lives to tell about it as supposedly someone else. At any rate, y'all, we're not supposed to be paying for that. Okay, I don't want to be a party of like I said, y'all remember the good old days when folks would say that what I do is my own business, but they're trying to make it other people's business. They're trying to drag us into their sin. They want us to pay for this, right? It's like, no, man, you do you. I do not want to be a part of you walking yourself into hell. You do that on your own. Do not involve me with it at all. All I'm gonna do is tell you, say, look, that's not a good idea, but you go ahead and do you. But the line really stops when you are going to force, you're gonna make it policy to where I have to be involved with it. You want me to be subject to your policies against my following of the word of God. That's my king, man. You guys are making it to where we got to betray our king. No, please do not involve me in that. And it's weird because these people think that, we're trying to impose our morality and our God on them. You guys are beset on enforcing your godlessness, and your immorality onto us. It's like, but these selfish people, they don't seem to understand that. But at any rate, y'all, it's nice to see a judge in Texas not giving in to the trend of suicide and his proverbial mandangles, right? So, And like I said, this mandate was part of the so-called Affordable Care Act. That thing ain't affordable. And when you got to get financial assistance to pay for it, man, ain't nothing affordable about that. That's a lie, right? Lie on its face, the Affordable Care Act, right? So, and like I said, man, this ain't affordable financially, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, right? It's costing us. So let's see. Let's move on to what else came across my desk. Mark Wahlberg. Oh man, funky bunch. On screen he seems like such a likable guy, man. Like a lot of these cats, likable people, but just so deceived. In some cases, people are just they're total jerks. I'm not saying that Mark Wahlberg is a jerk. He's just deeply deceived. Right? But, like I said, his on-screen, presence, just makes him seem like a really likable guy. And people are taken by that. They're drawn into that. And that's one of the reasons why people, these people are able to get away with what they do and have the influence that they have, because they inspire people. People see them as role models and stuff like that, not knowing. And this, of course, is idolatry, right? This is kind of a form of the image that you see that's given, a mouth to speak, like when the word talks about it, it's like this image will be given a speech and stuff like that. Is these people are idols that directors and writers write for what they say, and people follow these people, right? They idolize these people. So, Mark Wahlberg, like I said, has very likable guy. He has or at least his screen persona makes him seem like a very likable guy, but he's very, very deceived. So he's in this movie called Joe Bell. It's a film centered on a bullied teen, and it's about being accepting and tolerant of people. All right, let's say from the get-go, man, bullying itself is gay, right? If you're a bully, that's just gay, right? I totally agree. Bullying is wrong. Right? And remember, y'all, when people like I said, when I say bullying is gay, I mean that in the most negative sense of the word. But I also mean it's the same thing, because remember, y'all, Sodom and Gomorrah. You read the Bible, read what the Bible says about it. Sodom and Gomorrah, right? The mecca of homosexuality, right? Sodom and Gomorrah were a bunch of bullies. They were straight up bullies, y'all. The Bible tells you. Even the heathen nations that surrounded homosexual loving Sodom and Gomorrah, even they were like, these people are crazy and they are flat out oppressive. Yes, they're bullying us. Even the heathen nations around them were calling out to God, say, God, you need to do something about this, right? These people are crazy. So yes, y'all, bullying is gay. All right. So I totally agree with Mark, wanting to address bullying and stuff like that. This is not a good way to go about by doing it. Okay, bullying is wrong. Affirming people in their sin is worse. All right, it's worse. The tagline, because as it is, y'all, this country is being ruined by self-righteous self-redeemers, right? You're thinking that you're taking care of the bullying problem. No, you're making it worse. The tagline of this movie is correct. It says, redemption is a journey you can't take alone, right? But, as the saying goes in The Princess Bride, I don't think you understand what that means. Okay, so look, we can't redeem ourselves alone. You need Jesus for that. These people are trying to redeem themselves according to what they think is right. And you can go on this route with 1 million people thinking you're on the road to redemption and assuredly still be alone. All right. Mark Wahlberg is you blind with pride, dude. You're really blinded by pride. It's like he thinks that he's being a compassionate and humble person, man, but man, you deceived. It's not what it is. That's not what that is at all, right? It is the most prideful act to assume to be a believer while giving the middle finger to God, okay? Dismissing God's position on the issue, right? Writing in, one's own beliefs, or in Wahlberg's case, as he supports homosexuality, as if God don't know better. So, and unfortunately, and I saw this article on Fox News and stuff like that. So he might be on there to talk about it. I don't know. Because, a lot of, unfortunately, a lot of conservatives They even be like, so what if his faith in God is fake? So what? So what if it is? He played a Navy SEAL, America, right? That's all that matters, as long as he's a patriot and he supports our vets and stuff like that, which is, honorable. Of course, we support and love those who step in to protect our God-given freedoms. But if you're going to put that before God himself, then what's the point? All right, it's like, no, we have this liberty because God authored it himself. And nobody gave what God gave in the first place. We appreciate the sacrifices that people do in protecting our freedoms. But a lot of people, like I said, you hear a lot, they think that our freedoms were given to us, like by soldiers, right? Like given to us. It's like, no, they helped to protect it. The Lord gave us our freedom, all right? And he bled more than anybody for it. So let's not forget that. And anybody who is in his service to protect what the Lord gave, you got my respect, right? But I don't see you as the giver of my freedom. Protector of it, yes, definitely appreciate that. But you have a lot of people, they don't see it that way. And of course, they will see it more important that Wahlberg has, made his stance as supporting, our vets and portraying one and stuff like that. And that's what matters. But this right here, that's nothing. So what? So what? And that's really pretty sad. So at any rate, y'all, so the movie is about, bullying. In this case, bullying of a homosexual, who in this person was, as the movie asserts, was bullied to a point of suicide. But okay, y'all. Now, to those who are given over to this idea of self-redemption and this self-righteousness and this human piety and stuff like this. This may sound really callous, right? It may sound really insensitive, but I say to you assuredly that I'm saying this with straight up concern. I'm speaking truth and love to y'all, right? And sometimes, the truth, it stings, right? Sometimes when you got to sew that wound up, it ain't gonna tickle, all right? But I'm gonna say straight up, the bullying didn't drive him to suicide per se. Encouraging people in their weakness is more the culprit for that. All right, you feel me? When you encourage a person to give in to their weaknesses, you make them easier to break. All right, that's just the nature of weakness. That's physics. All right, we're gonna talk science, right? If you're gonna promote weakness in something, expect it to break easier. And that's what happened with this young man. He was encouraged in his weakness. He was encouraged to give in to his weakness. And weakness is a strange thing, man. Weakness is a strange thing because weakness is like a black hole, right? A black hole is basically a star that is collapsed, right? It was unstable, crumbled under its weakness, boom. But a strange thing is even though it collapsed in its instability, it becomes this strong force. It's a negative, right? It's a negative that draws it. That's what this weakness is. It's a pit. And the gravity of this weakness is really strong, right? It's a weird thing. And you can get sucked in and collapse on your own gravity, just like a black hole. And other people can get sucked into it too. That's a weird thing about weakness, all right? And we see this play out in nature. So, and when a person is encouraged, it's like basically the theory is that when a star collapses, because the star has somehow the star has become able to form iron, right? The molecule in it is, forgive me if I forget the sequence of it, I can't articulate it correctly, but the sum of it is that the iron molecule has been made in this star, and once that happens, the star collapses. Okay, so basically, when you're doing this to this person, it's like basically a person feeding a star iron. You thinking that you're giving this person something strong. You're not. Of course, which we say iron sharpens iron, right? Hey, well, yeah, iron is good for you, right? Well, let me give this person some iron. Well, you gave this person like a star. You gave them the elements to speed its collapse. It's what you've done. And then that person becomes a black hole. It sucks everybody into its gravity. You know, you don't want to get caught in that event horizon, man. Stay away from that. Don't encourage people in this. That's what you're doing. So if you are affirming your kid in their sexual confusion, you are affirming them in their weakness, and they will get weaker, right? I mean, you can go ahead and feel like they're being all loud and proud and bold and all that sort of stuff, and out there just, hey, I'm living out loud and I'm brave and all that sort of stuff. No. You have enabled them in their weakness. You're enabling something that they are weak to, all right? And it leads to great mental, emotional injury or death, right? So rather than encouraging them to take the weakness before the Lord, not before a religion, not before some so-called therapist, but bring their weakness to the Lord himself to send his strength through them, right? In my weakness, I am made strong, right? He is made strong, sorry. In my weakness, he is made strong. That's what's important, right? That's the strength that's important to see. So, you're not, in this, Mark, I mean, man, like I said, likable guy, man. It's, I hate to, I'm not trying to like propose beef with him and stuff like that. I'm just saying, dude, it's like this ain't helpful. You're not helping anybody with this, Mark. This is just some self-satisfying exercise in pseudo sainthood. That's all you're doing, man. And here's the thing: anybody could be a bully. Anybody can. Basically, we're all born bullies. You just have to have the restraint to not be one. Anybody could be a bully. And we're encouraged to not be bullies, right? Right? But being a bully is actually its natural behavior. All right? We're just born that way. But it's immoral, right? Even though something may be natural, we do have also the nature to recognize what's moral and immoral. Right? Knowing when we're transgressing against somebody else, knowing that, having the empathy to say, okay, I wouldn't want you doing this to me, so I probably shouldn't do it to you. All right, we're born with that inclination also. So now the same thing, now just like we say being a bully, natural behavior, we're just born that way, but it's immoral. And it has to be taught that it's immoral. Well, sex is natural, right? But there are people who are given over to unnatural engagements of it, which is immoral, right? It takes strength to resist being given over to these urges, man. Now, LGBT and whatever else letters that they want to tag onto it goes on about resist, pump your fist, resist, right? Well, show some real strength, y'all, and resist your sin. Okay? Homosexuality isn't natural. And I don't care if you saw two male animals humping, right? And you take that as affirmation that homosexuality is natural. Well, animals eat their own young too, all right? So, but actually I digress. That's not a good analogy because the LGBT and their allies support people killing their own young too. All right, so y'all may have remembered me talking about this in my audio book, Weapon of ASS Destruction, from back in the day. And no, it's not a book on gay porn. All right, but, the irony, the real point of irony here is that they're the ones insisting that we see them, they insist that we see them as less than humans. That's their gripe with us. You see it, we're second-class citizens, and you see us as animals, and you see us as less than human and stuff like that. While they're the ones using animals to justify their behavior, right? They put themselves on level with animals, not us, right? You're a human being as far as I'm concerned, but your behavior, that's you, and you're trying to make other people endorse it. And it's like, no, that ain't gonna work. So it takes strength, to recognize these things, Mark. It's like, come on, man, you got the muscles, put the muscles to your mind too, man. It's like it takes the strength of the Lord to recognize that you, people like you, are in rebellion, willful rebellion against his word. You're another example of people who think that you're strong in your acceptance of these things, when the truth is you're weak in your submission to it, right? This is a poor example, to show your kids. It's not a strong one, right? Man, there's parents out there facing the real hard, heart-shredding work, y'all, of trying to be a beacon of real truth for their kids, when their kids prefer the light of the devil that blinds them, right? The devil masquerades as an angel of light, and with that light, he blinds people, unlike the light of God that is a lamp to our feet, right? So, but you got these people like Mark Wahlberg, and a lot of these, so-called woke people, celebrities, politicians, and everyday people of the like. They just love their kids straight to hell. That's what they're doing. Loving their kids straight to hell, right? So, which of course, which would pull them into hell right along with them, right? In that weakness. Remember that negative force, right? You got your positive force, you got your negative force, right? That's that weakness, that collapse in the space-time continuum. Space-time continuum has found a weak point, and it collapsed, and you get sucked into it, right? Whether it be a black hole or wormhole, whatever you want to call it, some kind of hole, right? You don't want to get sucked in that hole. Anyway, so, but like I said, it's like some people can be like, so what? At least in the meantime, they can show the rest of the world what an open-minded parent they are, right? That's what matters. You got to be open-minded, be your kid's best friend and all that stuff. Open-minded, man. The only thing you've opened is the gates of hell to both of you, right? So don't be that person, man. Thank you, thank you to the brave parents, man. Brave parents who face such issues and will not let their children be their idols and take authority over them, leading them away from the Lord, right? It's a hard issue to deal with because one way or another, it's like you're faced with losing your kid. You can lose your relationship with your kid, or you can lose, both of you can lose your soul. You can lose your relationship with your kid, or you can use your relationship with the Heavenly Father, right? Yes, God is justifiably conditional. Yes, he is justifiably jealous. He is not going to take a back seat to people being given over to taking it in the back door, right? And people who support that. That is not God bringing on the selfish heartache. That's not God doing that. That's people selfishly wanting sex outside of the ordinance of nature, right? So the Lord's resolve, y'all, the Lord's resolve to parents who understand that the best thing for your kids is to side with the Lord and his truth, not siding with your kids and their delusions, y'all. Don't put your kids before God. That's idolatry. It's tough, man. I'm not trying to be cavalier or anything like that. It's, parents whose heart is breaking. It's like, you want to be able to see eye to eye with your kids, especially, when that eye to eye is based on the Lord. But when your kid feels like, hey, well, I want to do what I want to do, and this is what pleases me and stuff like that, and I don't care about pleasing God, I'm just going to go ahead and give into this inclination that I have and be dismissive of what the Lord has to say about it. And that's ripping a parent to pieces, man. Because a parent, it's like they know the truth. They know God. It's like, man, you gonna put me in a position where I gotta choose? I'm gonna lose my kid to this. I'm gonna lose my kid, right? And I don't want to lie to him. I love my kid. I don't want to lie. But you got these other people out there thinking that they're woke, lying to the kid and lying to themselves, right? All around detestable to God. You're going to lie, right? You're going to be a stumbling block and enable somebody in their sin and stuff like that. Man, I know it's easier said than done, y'all. I hear it. And a lot of the country is going because, we put this premium on family and family loyalty and stuff like that. It's a weird thing how the progressives, they play on people's sentiments and stuff like that. While they're dividing people. The only one who can rightfully divide us is the Lord himself. Separate the wheat from the tares, the sheep from the goats. Drive a two-edged sword between people. Only the Lord can do that surgically and for our healing. He can be divisive like that. He does it for a purpose. These people are trying to divide and conquer, but they play up things like family loyalty, and people feel like they're obliged to have this family loyalty, and you got to stick by family no matter what. I mean, unless your family wants to stick by God, then you got to be divided and separate from them, right? But when they want to be in their sin, you have to accept that, and we're being fooled into thinking that your loyalty is to your family, even when your family is just straight up doing wrong. The Bible doesn't support that. Nah. The Lord will even tell you, it's like, man, it's better that you hate your family. I'd rather you hate your family, right? People be talking, have this like, hey, I got to go back and with my fam and bury my dead father. Jesus be like, well, let the dead bury the dead, man. Bye. It's like you either with it or you're not. What you want to do, man? You want to stick to some superstitious tradition or something like that? Is that what you want to do? I'm right here, man. So family loyalty, it doesn't mean that you're dismissive of family and stuff like that, but you got to know at some point when family is going to be dragging you into sin and make these sinful policies that we got to people wonder why people don't get along and can't have discussions about this stuff. It's like, sure, yeah, you could have your disagreements about politics and stuff like this, and people wonder why. So, man, how come people can't be friends after having a talk about politics and stuff like that? Because these people, whether they're your friends or whether they're family, the stuff that they're talking about is stuff that they're going to go vote for, which is going to encroach upon your freedoms. It's going to make it to where it may be difficult for you to keep a job, right? For a business to stay open. Things that you're going to that's going to cost you. It could cost you your home. These policies that people want to go out there and make, this isn't just stuff that stops at the table, at the coffee table. They go and vote for this stuff, and you have to live by it. So yeah, at some point, yeah, it can become kind of personal because it will affect your life. This isn't just some disagreement between friends. That friend of yours is going to go vote to screw you. Give the state the power to screw you. That's why people tend to not get along when it comes to politics, right? So anyway, friends or family. So now let's move on to this right here. I know exactly who is to blame. This article is coming from Root for America, and this writer says, I know exactly who is to blame for this new wave of COVID, and I know who is making a fortune on it. I mean, I don't know if that's really news, but actually, I'm not trying to downplay it. It's not really news. It's just we need to do our part to go ahead and make sure that, and we need to put this in vehicles where people can like kind of say, oh wow, duh, I never thought about it that way, right? So but all that to say, y'all, I'm gonna say it like this: a lot of conservatives, right? Some of your favorite mainstream conservatives out there, right? And just folks around America have taken the so-called vaccine. I'd like to think it's not most of them, but dang, it's too many, man. And like I said, even influencers, conservatives with a big platform are out there telling people that they took the vaccine and stuff like that. And, that's your business. Either way, you're taking a gamble, right? Whether you take the so-called vaccine or whether you don't. No matter what, it's a gamble, right? So I'm not going to sit here and judge anybody for gambling because we're all taking one, right? But I will say this though: why would y'all do this? And I don't forgive me, I don't mean to sound judgmental with my question here, but why? Knowing who's promoting it, but not listen to the medical experts who are being silenced, like a lot of conservative content creators. You see these content creators, on the YouTube or the Rumble or wherever they want to put their stuff, and they're being marginalized, they're being silenced, just like the medical professionals who are being silenced, who have a contrary view to what the mainstream is saying. So we have this thing in common, right? That they're being silenced. These doctors are letting you know, This so-called vaccine is bad news, man. You might not want to go down this road. And they're getting silenced by flipping freaks. You got these freaks out there telling you, you need to take the vaccine, you need to get the job, and they're shutting down businesses, and people are losing their jobs. The economy has been destroyed by these people, by these destroyers, and they're telling you to take the vaccine. And you're listening to them? You're accepting it that it's a vaccine? Knowing what you have in common with these people, with the people who are telling you that, man, you might not want to do this, but you're going to listen to these fascistic freaks. Oh man, I don't know. It's that's like a person looking at somebody who's just toe up from smoking crack, right? And being like, man, I got to try that. I don't know. It doesn't seem to make sense to me. Conservatives who are taking the vaccine while being conservatives are being silenced for speaking the truth. You know that, right? We're being silenced for what? For what? Speaking the truth. The same thing is happening to doctors who are speaking the truth. All right? Now, do you see how those who spread lies are given free rein to spread lies, right? Like the liberal media and a legion of perverts, who have a free rein to spread lies, and they're all in line with these witch doctors who are spreading lies. Are you certain that you cited correctly on this? I'm just saying. Something to consider, y'all. At any rate, it's like recognize an attack, on a global attack. That's all, come on, man. Like I said, either way you take it, it's gonna be a gamble. But man, just jumping out in front of that needle, knowing who's promoting it, it's like it kind of over my head, man. At any rate, Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden says he lost another laptop to Russian drug dealers okay, this is coming off of Breitbart. It's like, man, you done lost your mind. You losing a laptop is least of your worries, man. So anyway, Biden, on some webcam footage, was like, ooh, Hunter, we saw your booty, right? And now, and I'm gonna say it again, man. I'm gonna keep on saying it because now, like I said, y'all get it. That's why you hang out here, because you guys know what's up. It's like, and thank you, because it lets me know that it's kind of affirming that maybe I'm not crazy. But I'm trying to tell y'all. Now, here's Biden doing it again. Y'all catching Biden over and over again. The Bidens. I'm trying to tell y'all. Conservatives, I'm trying to tell you. Conservatives outside of this audience gets it. You guys know what's up. We're trying to let these other conservatives, these prideful, self-righteous conservatives out there, who think that they've got what it takes to save America, as if the Lord saving America isn't enough, or waiting for some political messiah to come save America. They don't seem to understand. Do you not see that? How much dirt do you think it's going to take for you to do any damage? We got dirt on these people all day. When y'all gonna realize that it doesn't really matter? It's a strategy, y'all. It's a strategy. In war, there's a strategy. And people, when you have people in war, there's going to be expendables, right? Cuomo, he's an expendable right now, but it's not going to stop what the Democrats are doing. It's like they threw their bait out, all right? So here you got Cuomo is getting the naughty shame, and here's Hunter Biden again doing the same old stuff. Right? We're gonna distract you from what Cuomo is distract you what Cuomo is doing, right? To distract you, right, from what Hunter Biden is doing. And Biden's just getting away with stuff, right? So, but what is this all an example of? White privilege. I know it. I know a lot of conservatives out there. No, they're so defensive of their whiteness, and I'm not guilty of being white. It's like, look, when are you guys gonna understand that this is not an admission of guilt? It's not. I'm trying to keep y'all from being counterproductive. So when you see this stuff, you need to call it what it is. They're white, right? And they're getting away with something. Al Sharpton's black. It's a dude. You don't understand. In war, you can make allies and make these people useful for you to create the illusion of or distraction so you can be attacking from another angle. So what if Al Sharpton is able to get away with what he get away with? He's a pawn for the Democrat Party, a well-paid pawn. That doesn't mean anything. Do you not know who the Democrats are? Do you not know that they are the party that wanted to institutionalize white privilege? The party of white supremacy? The party of systemic racism? Yeah, that's them. It's a real thing. And you got these conservatives out there so worried that they're going to have to admit to white guilt when it has nothing to do with you. But it's a real thing. And there is a party of it, and you guys keep dropping the ball on it. And why do you think Biden is able to keep getting away with what he gets away with? White privilege. Engineered by the Democrat Party. And y'all keep giving it to them. There's no white privilege. I'm not guilty. I'm not apologizing for nothing. It's not about you. Right? But they're going to keep it. So think about it, y'all. How much dirt do you think it's going to take? Have you guys not seen so far that you've been having dirt on these people? Dirt, dirty dirt, dump truck, dirt after dirt on these people. What's it done? Nothing. You know why? Because conservatives, you have allowed you helped them make you out to be more evil than anything that they can do. You help them make you look like racist. You help them do that. You help them make it look like you're totally oblivious to racism, and it makes it look like you just don't care, and you would just be happy if anybody of any other race just died off anyway. You make it look like that. Rather than calling Democrats out on not on their history, what they're still doing to this very day. It's still systemic racism, right? Look at the stats. But no, you got too many conservatives out there so worried that it's going to be the admission of their guilt, and they're so full of pride, and they just can't see it any other way while they've lost their country. While they're sitting there, we need to take our country back. It's an admission that you've lost your country. Your pride has cost you your country, right? It's a shame when you think it's like they're so smart and stuff. Like these Democrats are so stupid, and these stupid Democrats are taking the country away, have taken the country away, and you keep helping them. I mean, how much more footage do you think that you're going to have to find? How much more dirt do you think that you need? It's not helping you. I'm telling you, you've helped the Democrats make you out to be something worse. All right. So you got Hunter. I guess now we can understand why. We can understand why he charges so much for his paintings, man. You know, because hey, come on, man. Hunter Biden's a real humanitarian. You know, that prostitute that he's with, man, he charges so much for those paintings because he's going to be giving these to these prostitutes because he's going to give them a fresh start at life. That's what it's about, right? He's rescuing this woman from sex trafficking. That's what this is all about, you know. So we need to recognize how pro-woman Hunter Biden is, right? He's very, very supportive. He's helping her pay for her degree in psychotherapy, and he's even helping her with her practice, man. So, he's sitting there, airing out his problems. You know, she's counseling him and stuff like that. You know, he's on a mission. He's on a mission, y'all. So we should be praising Hunter Biden for his proactive support of helping women break through the glass ceiling and stuff like that. Man, it's sometimes, it's like, wait, man, should I feel sorry for the dude? No, I don't feel sorry for Hunter Biden. You got my prayers, man, but you ain't getting my pity. I do hope you receive the Lord's peace and truth and repent. That's essential, man. Just, seriously, y'all, prayers to the dude. He's messed up, man. All these people, they're messed up, man, and they need the Lord's peace and truth. I hope they receive it. You know, but you got a lot of conservatives out there. They frown upon it. It's like, they'll talk about God bless America and believe in God, but you say a prayer. I'm not praying for anybody. It's like, dude, it takes strength to pray for somebody. You're not praying to reward them. It's like, oh Lord, I hope you bless them with excellent health and wealth and all that. No, that's not what you're praying for. You're praying for them to receive the Lord's peace and truth and that they repent. Right? Like the Lord says, I don't want the wicked to perish. I want them to see the light and live. I mean, that's what we should want for anybody. To walk in truth. Right? Isn't that a good thing? That doesn't excuse them from justice. Like, dude, you got to pay your due, right? Y'all need to be punished. Forgiveness is not the absence of justice. It's not the absence of punishment, right? But here's the thing. If they had the Lord's peace and truth, they wouldn't be doing this nonsense. So maybe we should pray for them to have the Lord's peace and truth. All right? So, like I said, he's got a reckoning coming towards him. Yes. And we trust in the Lord's judgment, and we pray for the Lord's judgment, but we're not looking for, oh, I hate, him so much, and I just wish he'd die and all that. So no, or I wish something bad would happen. It's like, no, dude, I want you to receive the Lord's peace and truth. Want that justice? Yes. Right? You gotta own up, man. You gotta pay your due. But these people, man, they need the truth, man. They really need. We all do. We all need the Lord's peace and truth. All right. So what we got here? We got Scarborough, Scolds, the death cult, right? Saying that parents think Jesus will protect kids from COVID. So Scarborough goes on to say that, let me see, what does he say here? He says, it just makes me scratch my head when I hear reports of parents saying we're going to ignore doctors, we're going to ignore science. No, that's y'all. Man, talk about projection. Talk about some science ignorers. I don't ignore the all science, the real science, the Lord God Almighty, right? The all-knowing. So no, man, I'm not a science denier at all. I follow the real science. And Jesus is going to take care of our children, so we can recklessly, medically, so we could act reckless medically. Jesus is going to take. Do they think that Jesus decided to kill over 600,000 people with the COVID virus? This is coming from a person who's encouraging people to jump right in front of that needle that's injecting people, and people are dying from it. All right? Can you say that it hasn't happened, Mr. Scarborough? That people haven't gotten the so-called vaccine and have died? All right. So at any rate, you just go ahead and you sit there and scratch. You Darwinian ape dependent. Let me see. Let me see. Let me try to get this right. Let me remind Joe that these pseudoscience nuts who ridicule us Jesus freaks, Jesus who wrote the book on hygienic ordinances to keep from spreading disease, and who gave us the ordinance on quarantining. These people who ridicule us are now the ones running around like religious freaks, saying Fauci, doing these gay songs and stuff like that. Fauci will protect us, while people have been dying by his counsel, right? But you think that we Jesus freaks are a death cult for saying Jesus will save us? You're a flipping hypocrite, right? So Fauci is your savior, right? You got a death cult following Fauci, dude. People are dying from his so-called recommendations. They're dying because of that. Putting their trust in Fauci, their faith in Fauci, their Fauci faith, right? So, but you don't think that's ridiculous. But the Jesus freaks are, right? So here's the thing, man. The Lord is protecting those who trust in his word by helping us to discern that this is not a vaccine, right? It's part of a global attack. So now, for the record, I don't agree with how people approach this, though. How a lot of Christians approach this. I don't like how they're invoking Jesus in this. Okay, Jesus himself. I mean, these people saying that Jesus will protect us from sickness, and Jesus is like, look. Jesus himself told us that we're going to have troubles. Yes. All right. That means that people can get sick. You can have financial hardships, right? There's going to be things, there are going to be pitfalls and things like that. It's not about Jesus protecting us from these things, right? Jesus has done the work to protect us from being imprisoned in death, right? That's better than anybody's ever going to do, right? But people who believe in Jesus, y'all, they get sick and die also, right? Jesus said he would send the comforter. You know why? Because things are going to get really uncomfortable. So, I mean, I wish folks would knock it off with the whole Jesus will protect us misreads. So it doesn't honor him, right? You honor Jesus by relying on him for faith, even if your health is compromised. Right? Are you calling Jesus a liar? It's like you would be calling Jesus a liar if you're acting like you're a Christian and you're just not going to get sick because Jesus. You're calling Jesus a liar. Like I said, Jesus himself told us we're going to have some troubles. There's going to be things that can compromise your health. Can you keep the faith though? You know, I mean, remember, Jesus, I don't think any of us prayed more fervently or have more faith than Jesus. Jesus like, hey, Pops, any way that this cup can pass from me? No. Jesus didn't exactly, he wasn't protected from the cross, was he? He wasn't protected from the scourge, was he? Okay, y'all out there talking about that, we'll be protected because we believe in Jesus. That dishonors him. You calling him a liar. Can you keep the faith despite the hardships? That's the real test. All right. So, y'all, Jesus has done these things because he's the one who can usher us into the kingdom where we'll never have to endure these things again. That's the objective, y'all. We have to keep our grip on him. This world, it's going to suck, man. There's things going to happen to us. But Jesus has proven it. He has promised us in blood. He's written it to us in blood. I'm going to lead you into that place where this stuff ain't never going to, happen to you again. You'll never have to endure this again. So cling to that. So he's got that, on point with us, y'all. Jesus didn't sacrifice himself in battle for us to sacrifice common sense, y'all. People saying, Jesus will save me are basically, saying I can walk out into the middle of traffic and never get hit by a car. That's what they're saying. It's not practical. It's not a practical view of the Lord. Right? No, Jesus protects us by blessing us to have the sense to look both ways to assure clearance, all right? So as far as the so-called vaccine goes, the Lord is protecting us with discernment to examine the circumstances surrounding this and not purposely compromise ourselves to save ourselves from fear. Right? These people will say that we're afraid. We're afraid to get vaccinated. Meanwhile, these same accusers are so afraid, they're so afraid that they let cronies inject them with something that they claim is a vaccine. Right? But I understand your fear is better than our supposed fear, I guess. Anyway, y'all. That's what I got for today. And thank you once again, y'all, for tuning in. If you dig TZL Un-Prescripted, I hope that you guys will share these videos. It might do some good if you subscribe. They keep my views squashed anyway. But, hey, don't let them do it without a fight, okay? Don't let them just bury your boy Zoe. And, I know it's discouraging. You try to share my vids. Nobody sees them. I totally understand. But like I said, if you feel like these are important, observations, from your humble bro next door, share them, y'all. Don't let them bury, content creators like, your dude Zoe without a fight. And I hope you guys will check out bronzeserpentmedia.com. Check out the content that I've got there. If you dig the content, drop a buck in the bucket to support, help me keep these lights on, pay that rent. And, get the shirts, represent, y'all. Let folks know where they can come get their head right, man. Be in this club right here. Like I said, don't let them bury me without a fight, man. Represent, get out. In cyberspace, I'm a ghost, right? Don't let them make me a ghost in the real world, too. Get these shirts, these mugs, Sipping Style. Get you a cup full of head right. And check out the music project, 20 Pound Sledge. So in the meantime, y'all, I love you. Right? My kingdom, our kingdom kids, we kingdom kids up in here. My kingdom kin, I should say. We the Lord's kingdom kids. We kingdom kin up in here. And I'm always so grateful that you guys stop, to, hang out with me up in here and get this dose from TZL. And like I said, it's always such a blessing. And we will see you again in the next one. If YouTube allows me to stay up long enough to get enough support to get out of here. Help me out of here.